Okay, so you've really been studying weight loss maintenance for, a couple of
A
decades
long
here
time.
now.
A
Yeah,
long
a long
time.
time. So I have some specific questions, but before I get into that, and you've touched on this briefly, what are when you look at the people who maintain their weight loss, what are the always sort of the bullet point things that you hit, the handful of things that those folks seem to be doing that are really helping or facilitating that weight loss maintenance?
Yeah, we've studied this for 30 years or longer. And there's some commonalities. There are always exceptions. It starts with physical activity. Of the 10,000 people that we've studied in the National Weight Control Registry, 9% are maintaining their weight loss without physical activity. 9%. 91 are not. And all our research suggests that if you want to maintain your weight and you're not willing to increase your physical activity, your chances of success are very low. In the National Weight Control Registry, they do regular physical activity and they do a fair amount of physical activity. The average is about an hour a day. Okay. Hour a day, is that a lot? Is that a little? 1 hour out of 24. It's a lot compared to what most people do. These people are keeping off an average of 70 pounds. You give me an hour a day, it doesn't have to be all together to help keep off 70 pounds. This is where mind state comes in. Are you seeing that as, oh my God, I have to do an hour a day? I can't do that. Are you saying, with only an hour a day, I can increase my chances of keeping off my weight? This is where the brain comes into it, how you approach it. So they do a lot of physical activity. They pay attention to what they eat. In the National Weight Control Registry, they keep diet records occasionally, and we encourage people to keep diet records, not because they're accurate, but because it forces you to pay attention to what you're eating. I mean, we've had people with the diet records say, "Oh my God, I wrote it down. I had no idea I was drinking 5 sodas a day." Well, eating is such automatic that it helps to do that. So they occasionally do that, and we encourage people not to do it all the time, but every now and then write down what you're eating. They weigh themselves, and this is one where we talk a lot about that in the book. There's a lot of feeling both ways on weighing yourself. And what we recommend people weigh themselves every day. And when I ask people in the National Weight Control Registry, why do you weigh yourself regularly? The answer is, well, how am I going to know if I'm gaining weight if I don't weigh myself? But at the same time, we talk about, don't give the scale power. It's not an emotional evaluation of you, it's simply a tool. And the other thing about weighing yourself, your weight, I don't know about your weight, my weight can bounce up and down 3-4 pounds from day to day. And that's not fat, that's water. So we're big on keep track, but look at trends over time. Average a week's weight rather than look at day to day. So physical activity, watching what they eat, they watch portion size, they look at energy density. One of the things that was obvious is they rarely consume any beverage with calories. And again, I remember talking to one saying, why do you do that? And it's like, oh my God, I want to get food. I love food. I don't want to waste calories in a beverage. So they drink a lot of water. They also use non-calorically sweetened beverages. And again, out in the media, that's a big deal. Artificial sweeteners, da da da. I will tell you, I think on the list of things to worry about, that's not even in the top 100. We
You're talking
find
about
people in the national
the negative consequences of
negative
artificial
consequences
sweeteners.
of that. You'd have to consume so much of these to have a negative effect. People use them as tools and they don't overdo it. So they're not drinking 10 diet sodas a day. But what they tell us is every now and then I want something that's a little sweet, but I don't want calories. Well, guess what? We have an answer to that. So that's one I feel pretty strongly about. I don't think we tell people not to worry about that unless you're really overdoing it. You got more important things to worry about. The other thing we find is these people are consistent. They don't take weekends off or holidays off. They stick with their plan all the time. And I think
Got it.
part of that in the book, we talk a lot about rituals and routines. Much of our behavior is routine. It's on pilot. It's automatic. You don't think about it. And so what we try to help people do is to say, you got a whole bunch of automatic behaviors that are taking you in the wrong direction. Let's replace those with automatic behaviors that take you in the right direction.
One of the things you talk about in the book consistent with that is like, how can you redo your kitchen so that it is doing exactly what you're talking about, so it can create habits, so it can just sort of just it changes stuff in the background, so you don't it just is becomes it changes how your lifestyle is. And one of the things that I'll give a quick shout out to the book. You give so many extremely practical examples, right? So in this conversation, we're kind of 30,000 foot over these things, but it's like are very specific, do this exact thing, right? And you give a bunch of different
Yeah.
approaches and ways to do this in your life.
Yeah, and it starts with simple things like if you know there are problem foods that you tend to overeat, don't keep them in your house. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock at night. You might get in the car and go to the store, but the chances are much higher that you won't. And by the way, what's an alternative? You may say, God, ice cream's what I really want. Well, is there something maybe not as attractive as ice cream, but still going to satisfy you? Thinking about putting
Mhm.
food at higher shelves that's harder to get sounds simple. These things work. They really do. We talk about air fryers, wonderful tools to fry things without, using fat and so forth. So we try to give a lot of practical tools. And again, our approach is not every one of these may apply to you. So look them over, find ones that apply to you and put it into practice.
So you said a couple of things in terms of folks who are successful weight maintainers I want to dig just a little bit deeper on. So the first one you said was exercise and doing an hour a day or so of exercise or physical activity, I think you said. So what to you, like what
Yeah.
counts as physical
So,
activity?
so in the book, we recommend three types of being active. One is planned activity. We recommend that you set aside some time every day for intentional exercise. It can be intentionally going for a walk, it can be going to the gym. It's not whatever comes up. It's okay, here's my time. I'm going to go and get my physical activity. Okay. And we recommend you do that every day. The second thing is more general lifestyle physical activity. Look for ways to be inefficient. You're at a meeting 5 minutes early. Rather than sit down, walk around a little bit. How do you get more steps in your life? You'll be surprised at how that can make a difference. And the third one is less sedentary time. Sit less. We spend so much of our day sitting. Anything you do other than sitting burns more calories. So try to look at the time you spend sitting. And lots of people spend 5, 6 hours a day sitting. Try to reduce that a little bit.
And you also talked about having a diet record, writing down things. So what so like for lots of folks when they're losing weight, they'll get an app or something like that that basically they can use to track their food. And so what I'm hearing you say is for weight loss maintenance success, it's not necessarily going that far.
It's okay. We're fine with those tools. There are more and more apps and wearables and everything. Great. You don't have to do them like you can get a Fitbit or an accelerometer. Simple pedometer will do too. It's up to you. If you're a high tech person, I tend to like the high tech stuff. Get it. That's fine. It's simply a way to get some feedback on what you're doing. Use one of the apps if you want. Write it down yourself. Don't pay attention to total calories. They're very inaccurate on total calories. But pay attention to the types of food you're eating and are these foods that are on your plan. So, yeah, we welcome apps and wearables, and all these things are going to make it easier to do this. So, bring them on.
And I'm thinking that one of the things that you said earlier, which is weigh yourself regularly,
Yeah.
that one of the reasons you're doing that is because it's going to give you feedback on, oh, this something's going wrong here, or this seems to be going great, right? So
Yep.
it's not necessarily immediate feedback, because as you said, the day to day doesn't really matter that much, but week to week does. So then by doing that regular weighing yourself, you're going to get that feedback and then be able to adjust.
Yeah, so there are two parts of that. One is knowing when you need to be concerned. So again, you go out to a party and the next day you're up 5 pounds. Is that something to worry about? Not necessarily. It's probably water weight. But look at the trends over the next few days. Is the trend stable? Is the trend up? And then what we really encourage people to do is to get what we call a take action weight. Let's say you're trying to maintain
Mm.
your weight at 170 pounds. And you're saying, okay, I'm happy for it to bounce around a little bit, but when it gets up to 178, I know I need to do something. That's my early warning sign. And that can be 2 pounds, 5 pounds, it can be individualized, but it gives you a sense of when you should be concerned or not.